It's another day and another amazing 4-2-4 FM26 tactic. This tactic won the Premier League by over 25 points. It achieved 100 points in the Premier League season. It also won 92% of the games that we played with it. So make sure you leave a like, subscribe, whack the bell on, because we have still got this tactic we're going to be dropping tomorrow. So make sure you are there. And yeah, let's get into it, because this one is a 4-2-4 attacking masterclass. So then, as always, once again, with the beta just literally have dropped a few days ago, I am playing every single game. So it is going to be one team, and I'm ranging from different teams with popular players that I know is going to be obviously recognisable for wherever you're from. You know these players very, very well. And today is going to be with Man City, just to see exactly how many goals we can actually extract from this match engine. And we are playing a 4-2-4, 2 strikers, 2 wingers. So there is potential for a lot of good, high-scoring games here. Now, in the Premier League, despite, you know, you can say, oh, you're Man City, I do get that, it still is a really good set of stats. I mean, we're talking about 33 wins, 4 draws, and just 1 loss there. And to be honest with you, that equates to about a 92.11% win rate. So it's a very good win ratio in the Premier League. And to be honest with you, on top of that, it wasn't just that we done. We do go over. I'll show you right now, go to the competitions. We do actually win the Champions League 2-1 over Barcelona, which of course is another cherry on top. And we also go on to win the Carabao Cup, which is the extra cherry on top. So we have won a treble in our first season. Now, once again, like the 4-2-3-1 tactic, I'm blessed to have some of the best viewers on this platform. You guys test it with smaller teams. Let me know if it works. And that one was just fine. With teams such as Charlton, it worked really, really well. And this one is set up to do exactly the same. So yes, it is a Man City test, but it's designed to be used with every single team. And once again, I have 3 tactical variants, so if one isn't working, the other one's probably more suited for your team. And I'm going to explain a little bit about that as we go through the tactic breakdown, but I think it's only fair we firstly look at the data hub. So from this Premier League season, you can probably get a sneak glimpse there. We didn't even concede anywhere near a goal a game. We scored above 2.5 goals a game, a 90% pass completion, and over 20 shots per game. It makes up for a very, very, very strong season, performing much better than the average, and that right there is a sign of a working tactic. So let's go watch the highlights. I think it has to be the Champions League final, isn't it? Because this match engine, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And the Champions League final against Barcelona, no easy game, but it becomes a bit easier when you are going 1-0 up in 30 seconds. One of the quickest goals I've ever scored in a Champions League final. Now, sadly, Lewandowski does make it 1-1, but we go on to win this game in the literally, the last kick pretty much? A great ball and an even better header. And it was a game that we did deserve to win. As you can see, shot-wise, we were all over them. Possession on the day, not as strong. But if you look at the two teams, yes, they've got the better XG, but look at the shots we had on target. 8 on target, we deserved a couple of goals. To be honest, I think it could have gone either way, actually, being open and honest with you. But we got it done. That's the difference. And just to showcase this wonderful match engine once again, we are going to highlight the actual cup final, the Carabao Cup final, with Marmoush scoring a rocket inside of 16 minutes. And from that point on, we actually find ourselves in the 82nd minute. Nunes down the right-hand side, a great ball in. We're not afraid to go direct with this one. Right then, now over to your favourite part of the video. Again, if you do enjoy, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. And if you enjoy rebuilds, make sure you come on over to Daily Josh. It is my second channel. We've got endless content going on over there right now, and it's absolutely mega. Now, as always, you boys and girls back home, you need all 3 variants. Now, of course, you can go and download them on the Patreon, but also you can copy them from the video, but I do use a mixture of all 3. And if you're playing as a weaker team, for example, you will need this defensive one. If you're playing as a real big powerhouse, like I was, you can go into games on the attacking one, but also they serve a purpose in the game. So you can go in on the default one. If you need a goal, go attacking, back to the default. You want to defend, go to defend, vice versa, if that makes sense. Any questions, you can always leave a comment in the description. But looking at this actual system, so we obviously attack in a 4-2-4, which is the core formation. When we actually seek to defend, we're out of possession. We do drop actually into a 4-1-4-1. So it is very resilient at the back, hence why I would recommend it being used with smaller teams. You're going to be completely fine to do so. And I genuinely do mean that, by the way. I'm not just saying it. It really will do a good job with anyone because it is so compact when it defends. Now, we're going to kick things right off today, actually going over some of the player roles first. So we've got both of the screens showing. We're going to cover obviously the in-possession side first. So number one is going to be Donnarumma, and he is simply going to be a ball-playing goalkeeper, and I've actually kept him on the default options on both of them, so there is no custom things to talk about regarding Donnarumma. So starting off very, very, very simply, the right back is going to be Rico Lewis, who is going to be a wing back, and he is told to do a couple of things. Firstly, run wide, and then also stay wider. Now, the reason why we've got him doing that, alongside of easing off tackles and marking tighter, just being a little bit more complacent instead of being a nut job and getting stuck in, is because he's very important for providing width. We're using an inverted winger on that side who is told to sit narrow. So him providing width in this area, not on this side, sorry, on this side, an inside forward, he needs to provide the width. Savinho will be playing almost here. We want Rico Lewis to overlap and almost replace him, so Savinho can attack from a more central area and Lewis can almost replace him and get the job done. And it was so good, the left back also shares those instructions on stay wider and also run wide. Out of possession, this player is told to be more aggressive, tackle harder, but also told, like Rico Lewis, to be quite tight when it comes to the marking. And once again, these instructions are applied purely because Foden is an inverted role. He is told to sit quite narrow. Now, when it comes to the two sort of centre-backs, both of them being ball-playing centre-backs, I'm not going to waste your time because in the tactics I've made so far, I've not added loads of instructions on any of them. They are both default ball-playing defenders, so there is nothing you need to add to make that any more special than what it already is. On the left-hand side, we are going to use a DM, who is going to come in simply on mark tighter, and in possession, we are going to have him set to the default, and this can be explained a lot easier when you see the man next to him. So the man next to him is going to be a DLP. Now, this player, again, there's not too much sort of added things on him, but naturally the game has him on take more risks because he is a playmaker, therefore you want him to be quite risky. He is told to tackle harder and also mark tight, but I actually kept it as quite a risk-free midfield in terms of the driving forwards, right? So for example, when we have this team actually defending, you can see it defends in this sort of this 4 block. When we have the ball, it's also important to have that stability. Hence why these two deeper options sit deep and they don't really push up too much. The DLP will play make and be risky, but you will not really see them push up past this point, so you're never really far off being able to mold into this shape on the right hand side where you can see my cursor. Now, I do want to quickly say at this part of the video, if you are interested in getting all of these cool perks, that is literally every perk I've got. There's 17 Patreon perks right now. It includes all of my FM26 tactics, rebuild files, set pieces, training, tactical help. Also, obviously, when the time comes, I am going to be deploying the mobile and the console tactics. Everything's going to go on there, so make sure you go and check it out because there is 40% off this month and we're approaching over 6,000 members. So make sure you go and get involved because it is absolutely banging. A ton of you guys did from the last video. It means the absolute world. But looking at this sort of front 4 then, so I went with quite a basic foundation, an inside forward on the right hand side, told to sit narrow, cut inside, roam from position, take more risks, and that's pretty much going to be it. So essentially a free roaming player that is going to be told to sit narrow, come inside, take some passing risks, and out of possession is going to be defaulted. And despite it being a different role, Phil Foden as the inverted winger, default out of possession, and then sit narrow, cut inside, and also roam. So these players will be very, very narrow, roaming about in the narrow pockets, hence why these wing-backs are super, super important that they do stay wide and also run wide. We then use a DLF up front. Don't worry, Bernardo Silva was not playing there. I haven't changed the players where they currently are, and he is told pretty much to play on his default persona. You know, that is it. Nothing too crazy. This role is quite unique in this game. It's quite hard to get working with loads of instructions, but when you use it on the default setting, I really liked what I saw. It typically was Haaland and Marmoush playing up front together, and Haaland is going to be that centre forward who is told to literally do the default when it comes to in possession, out of possession, more often, hard work and individual, and also tackle harder. And that's going to give you your in possession side. Now what we'll do is we're going to go over the out of possession player roles as well, and then we'll go over to the team instructions and cover both of those. So let's look at the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper remains the same. The fullbacks, obviously, they're going to have a little bit different. So on the right-hand side, we are going to be using an actual role that we've not used before, which is going to be the PFB, and he'll be told to mark tighter and also ease off tackles, and in possession, stay wider, run wide, and also make more runs. So very similar, just a bit of a different player role. The left back is going to be a fullback opposed to a wing back, and he will also be told to stay wider and also run wide, with out of possession being very similar, or in fact identical to in possession, mark tight and also tackle harder, with both of the centre backs being two central defenders, or whatever the new name is, centre backs, both being on the default instructions, so there is no real need to change that whatsoever. And I've kept it as similar as I can while still having a decent change in the team, and just the occasional player role change did really help out a lot. So I've kept it as much as I can compared to the actual in possession, because I've noticed this year that actually not going too crazy with different formations is the key to success. Now, the DM obviously comes in centrally. He is told to take more risks by the default, and also we are going to have him on mark tight and also tackle harder. So very important this DM exists in the team, because he is a very much a protector of the entire backline. So you can't really replace him, in my opinion. We then drop back. You would have seen this in the 4-2-3-1 video. We done it there. We drop back to two wide midfield players who actually are going to share the exact same instructions as what they are on this side of the thing. So sit narrow, cut inside, roam. It's exactly the same, but they are playing as that wide midfield player just because they just sit a little bit deeper. They're not as pushed up. We then introduce a player which, you know, is very, very unique. It is going to be Reinders in, I believe, the, I always forget the actual name of this role. Let me remind myself, because the game's still new. A screening midfield player. That's what it is. I always forget. And he is told to be defaulted, but also marked tighter. So again, not really overcomplicating it. And the CM comes in, and he is told to do this. Default out of possession, and then default when it comes to in possession, going super basic when we're out of possession, with Haaland remaining exactly the same. So it's just a little bit of a different formation. Obviously this one's not a 4-2-4, but we attack as a 4-2-4, and that's what got a lot of the results. So that is what I'm going to label it as. Obviously out of possession it is a 4-1-4-1, but yeah, that is going to be your player roles. Team instructions, let's go over it then. So we'll start off with in possession. Overview, shorter, higher tempo, a standard attacking width, standard attacking transition, be more expressive, and also keep the ball in play is going to be of choice. The final third, encourage dribbling, because we were one of the better teams in the league. It has to be done. We are then going to go into the progression, both flanks, and also encourage when it comes to the dribbling. And the build-up play is going to be play through and also distribute to the centre-backs, because it really is a nice way of playing. It is super, super sensible. Out of possession, go right into the overview, the high press, the standard defensive line, the balanced defensive line behaviour. Much more often on the trigger press, get stuck in, a bit of aggression, and also counter press. The high press, short goalkeeper distribution, yes. Pressing trap, balanced. Mid block, balanced. Low block, balanced. So that is going to be your balanced version of the brilliant beta, and it is a very, very, very unique tactic, but you do need this one to go with it. That is going to be the attacking one. I used a lot of it when it comes to playing with a team like Man City, and also in games that I was drawing as when I was using this one. I did switch to it to try and grab another goal or two. So this tactic is very similar, and I mean very, very similar. Like, in terms of the actual difference, the entire backline is exactly the same, so I'm not going to change anything about it. And in fact, the wide players are the same as well. So the only thing that you'd need to change is obviously the introduction of two sort of central forward players. The one on the left is going to be, you know, marking tighter, tackling harder, and then being defaulted when it comes to in possession. Haaland remains the same, and then obviously the big change is this. It is going to be the CM is now going to be told to out of possession, mark tight, and also tackle harder. And we have kept him very basic and straightforward because the AM next to him is incredibly attacking. Make more runs, shoot more often, roam, it's pretty in your face. So we don't want two players. Factoring in, we've also now pushed these players up. We don't want to go too crazy. So out of possession, mark tight, and also tackle harder is going to be of choice. And the other key thing, before I forget, make sure the mentality is set to attacking, because we've gone from positive with a balanced version up to attacking. Now, out of possession, I have kept a 4-2-4 shape, but I have dropped the wide players, and I've also dropped the DM. So there is a bit of a difference now. So the strikers remain the same. The wide midfield players are going to be as the same as the out of possession in the default version. So in terms of the instructions, it is going to be the same sort of sit narrow, cut inside, roam, out of possession, exactly the same. So the wide players, they speak for themselves. We have not changed a single thing on any of these because I still want them to be attacking. The big change to start is going to be this. So the DMs are going to come in defaulted when it comes to in possession on the right, but out of possession, mark tight, and also tackle harder. On the left, another DM, mark tight, tackle harder, but this one still has that license to roam like the AM does. Make more runs, shoot more, and roam, because it is an attacking version of this tactic. So I need one of these to get forward and contribute. We then play two default centre backs, however you wish to say it. And when it comes to the actual wide defenders, we are going to use a role which I don't know if any of you boys and girls have yet, but it's quite good. A holding fullback. Now, I have done this to find balance because this tactic is naturally a lot more attacking, and very rarely I make any of it more defensive. But I saw what happened in the match engine, and it wasn't always pretty when everyone's flying forward. So I've actually restricted these in that role. They're still told to, make more runs, run wide, stay wider, the mark tight, ease off tackles. It's exactly the same instructions as it is going to be in the actual balance version, but they're just on a bit of a different player role because it got a little bit too crazy because there's so many other elements that are made attacking. That is why they are going to change. Team instructions going right into in possession, overview, shorter, much higher tempo, be more expressive, and simply keep the ball in play. Final third, encourage and also work the ball into the box. Progression, both flanks and also encourage. And when it comes to the build-up, play through and go to the centre-backs once again. Out of possession, low block, balanced. Mid-block, balanced. High press, balanced and also yes. And the overview, high press, higher, step up, get stuck in, counter press, and also much more. We are really taking the game to the opposition. And the defensive version, it does the reverse. So we actually start off in that deep 4-2-4, and out of possession, we go back to that flat 4-1-4-1, which you'll see it yourselves when you use it. Defends as a back eight. It's an absolute masterclass. Now, the mentality is going to be set to balance. So again, a real big change. The entire back line does not change at all, so I'm not even going to waste your time on that when it comes to actually the in possession section. The DLP is going to have the same instructions as what the balance version actually did. So again, no real need to talk about that. As does the DM. We have gone with one inverted winger on the left-hand side, on sit narrow, roam, cut inside, and also default when it comes to the out of possession. And on the right, we have gone with that wide midfield player on the default out of possession, but in possession, this is where it really comes down to how much risk you're willing to take. Because I personally kept him on default, because obviously this is a defensive version of a tactic, but if you're playing a whole season with this tactic, you might want to go a bit more attacking than just a switch to. I use this one to sort of defend the last 10 minutes. If you're using this for a whole season, I would tell Savinio or however player you've got, for example, to go over, not that one, definitely make more runs alongside of, coming back inside, the same instructions as what the inverted winger would have to replicate that, because Lewis is actually going to push up, with these instructions, he will want to create an overlap. So that comes down purely to what team you're playing as Haaland remains the same, and the deep line forward comes in simply on the default on both categories, so nice and easy to copy. And out of possession, we go back to literally what we had in terms of this. It is super consistent. The only actual difference is going to be the right back is now a fullback, and he is told to do this exactly the same. So ease off, mark tight, stay wide, run wide. Is not too many changes, because this right here, I'm going to try and make a whole tactic starting in this formation, because it is so good in the match engine. It defends in the back eight. Now, the question comes, if I made a tactic in this shape, what would the out of possession shape be? That I don't know, but what I will say is, trust me, give this a go, because it is absolutely nuts. It goes from this shape to this shape very, very quickly. Team instructions. We'll start off with in possession, overview, shorter, standard, be more expressive, and keep the ball in play. We are then going to go to the final third, and everything is balanced. Progression, everything is balanced. Build up, play through, centre back, then everything is also balanced. Incredibly cautious football. Out of possession, low block, balanced. Mid block, balanced. High press, balanced, and also yes. And when we go to the overview, mid block coming in finally, regroup more often, balanced, standard, and also standard. And that is going to give you, boys and girls, not one, not two, but 3 versions of the brilliant Beta 424, with every game being hand played. Now, I know it is with Man City, but I am using popular teams with popular players so people understand, the names that I'm using. As this game sort of progresses, we are going to go back to doing the 3-team tests, but bearing in mind these videos are going to be naturally longer because there's more to talk about. So let me know what you want to see. Do you want to see 3 teams being tested with? I like doing that because you can have a powerhouse, a top 6, and an underdog. It works quite well, but for now I'm playing every game to ensure that the actual match engine gets the most out of this tactic. The tactic gets the most out of the match engine. I can't really sit here and holiday games because it might be completely different. That's the danger of a beta. So hopefully you have enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know what tactic you want to see next. I'm cooking up an absolute batch of them. Tomorrow, we are going to have a 4-3-3. And trust me, that one, get your popcorn out, because it's crazy. Enjoy the rest of your day.